Harry has finally had his royal titles stripped from the official royal family website, and the internet can't stop talking.
Harry has finally had his HRH titles stripped from the royal family website.
What started as a quiet update on Buckingham Palace's site has exploded into one of the biggest royal controversies since Megxit. Flight trackers, secret meetings, and whispers of reform, all pointing to one truth: the monarchy might be cutting ties with Prince Harry for good. It started quietly, almost like nothing had happened. But royal watchers noticed something strange. Harry and Meghan's profiles had been moved way down, almost to the bottom of the royal family page, next to names most people barely even recognize. No official statement, no warning, just a silent reshuffle that spoke louder than any headline. Social media caught fire instantly. People began asking, is this the beginning of the end for Harry and Meghan's royal status? Because every move the palace makes carries a message, and this one, it was crystal clear. Then came the headlines. Even the BBC reported that Buckingham Palace was reviewing titles for non-working members of the royal family. They didn't have to name anyone. Everyone already knew who they were referring to. It was a quiet, calculated shot fired straight at Harry and Meghan. According to insiders, King Charles had finally decided to move forward with his long-discussed plan to streamline the monarchy. Fewer working royals, fewer blurred lines, and absolutely no one using royal titles as personal branding. For Harry and Meghan, that meant one thing: losing the last official link to the royal world they once belonged to. And within hours, the internet was in chaos. Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, everywhere you looked, the royal debate was raging. Some called it justice, others called it betrayal, but the palace stayed completely silent. Then, late one night, flight trackers picked up something unexpected: a private jet leaving Santa Barbara and heading straight for London. No confirmation on who was aboard, but speculation exploded. Could it be Harry, flying home without warning? No Meghan, no Netflix crew, just one man crossing the Atlantic as the palace quietly reviewed his titles. Royal watchers began tracking the plane in real time. Hashtags like #RoyalCrisis and #HarryFliesHome started trending. Every minute, the tension grew, and by the time that jet neared London, the internet had already written the story. Prince Harry was rushing home to stop the palace from taking everything away. But while Harry was in the air, King Charles was already 3 steps ahead. Behind the palace walls at Clarence House, a closed-door meeting was taking place with senior advisors and members of the Privy Council, the king's most trusted constitutional team. The topic: how royal titles should apply to non-working royals in the modern era. This wasn't just family drama anymore. It was institutional. It was history in motion. Palace insiders said one word kept echoing through the meeting: streamlining. The same word used when Prince Andrew lost his HRH status. The same word Charles had used before his coronation. Now, it was being used in connection with his own son. Soon after, the Times published a statement from a senior aide close to Prince William: royal titles should not be used as branding tools for personal profit. No one had to guess who that was aimed at. It was a perfectly polite but razor-sharp message drawing a golden line: you can't cash in on the crown and still claim to serve it. Online, the reaction was explosive. Commentators called it revenge wrapped in royal stationery. British tabloids called it the most ruthless move since Megxit. Meanwhile, reports claimed that Harry personally called his father's office as soon as the news broke, hoping for clarity or maybe a chance to plead his case. But according to sources, that call didn't go well. Hours later, flight rumors intensified. British morning shows rolled out breaking headlines: Prince Harry rushes to London after shocking palace move. When his plane landed, there were no smiles, no family reunion, just a prince walking into a storm. Paparazzi waited at Heathrow, desperate for that one picture. Online, fans were split. Some called it bravery, others said it was already too late. And while Harry was somewhere in London, King Charles was finalizing his next step. Constitutional advisors were reviewing royal law, making sure any action taken would stand firm. According to the Telegraph, the king's message was clear. This wasn't about punishing anyone, it was about protecting the crown itself. Then politics entered the scene. MP Bob Seely's 2022 proposal suddenly resurfaced a plan allowing Parliament to debate and strip royal titles from non-working royals. Back then, it was symbolic. Now, it looked like prophecy. Across the Atlantic, Meghan's team acted fast. Her reps told entertainment outlets that the title talk was a private family matter, but it was too late. The internet had already chosen its side. Comments poured in, "You can't monetize royalty and then play victim." Harsh words, but they reflected the global mood perfectly. In the UK, people praised the king for defending tradition. In the US, many saw Harry and Meghan as victims of an outdated system. Two worlds, two realities, one royal showdown. Inside the palace, total silence. No official response, no leaks. But insiders said the review had entered its final stage. Lawyers were already drafting legal notes outlining what would happen if titles were formally redefined. Then, the quiet move that confirmed everything. The royal website updated once again. Harry's titles were no longer listed under His Royal Highness. Instead, he was simply called the Duke of Sussex. A tiny change on a webpage, but a massive shift in royal history. Royal historians called it a constitutional earthquake disguised as a website edit. Even the BBC treated it as a matter of state. What began as rumor had now become undeniable reality. Prince Harry was facing the loss of his remaining royal privileges. Inside Buckingham Palace, the mood was calm, almost too calm. One insider told reporters, "The institution moves forward with or without anyone." That one sentence said it all. The monarchy wasn't emotional. It was strategic, focused on image, longevity, and control. In Montecito, silence. No statements, no posts. Insiders said Harry felt blindsided. Meghan wanted to wait before speaking publicly. But those close to the palace claimed this was no surprise at all, that Charles had been planning this moment since the day he became king. Every update, every small change, every leak, it all led to this: a monarchy that's smaller, stricter, and less open to outside influence. Late night shows, royal podcasts, and commentators on both sides of the Atlantic kept the story alive. Would Harry fight back or finally let go of the crown? Because this time, the palace wasn't bluffing. The removal of HRH from the royal website wasn't just an update, it was a warning. A reminder that royal titles are granted by the monarchy, not owned by individuals. And if Harry truly wants independence, the crown seems ready to make that official. Outside Buckingham Palace, reporters described an eerie calm. No briefings, no denials, just quiet history unfolding. Experts said if Parliament gets involved, it could set a new precedent, royal titles being stripped through legislation, something unseen in modern times. For centuries, those titles symbolized duty and heritage. Now, they represent accountability, and that shift could redefine royalty in the 21st century. As the hours passed, one truth became impossible to ignore. This was never just about a name on a website. It was about legacy, authority, and survival. For Harry, it could mark the final chapter of his royal story. For King Charles, it's proof that the crown always comes first. Because when the palace decides to act, it doesn't shout. It simply updates a webpage, and the whole world gets the message.